Welcome back, everyone, to NYU Grads Daily Podcast. It is Thursday, October 26th, after market hours. Let's go through the numbers. A lot to cover today. Today was a pretty negative day again, but I will end that there is some hope with Amazon, but let's get into it. So, breadth numbers still looks really bad. 47 new highs, 1,002 new lows on Thursday. I mean, you can't build a base and a new bull market this way. Honestly, I can just end the podcast here, right? That's the big picture. Before I even get into the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P, again, 47 new highs, 1,002 new lows. We have 83% still below its 50-day moving average and 78% below its 200-day moving average. So how did the markets look today on Thursday? Basically, the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P, they opened right about near where the previous close was on Wednesday. And we waffled around a little bit on the Dow, but on the Nasdaq and S&P, we kind of sold off immediately. It wasn't too bad though, okay? Until maybe about 11-ish, it started to accelerate. And it looked like it was going to just fall off a cliff. After I even posted on Substack Notes, hey, where's the lunchtime algo? Is that not happening today? Because usually during the lunch break in New York, you see a buying impulse. It's like a magic hand in the market. And I didn't see it. And I was like, where is it? Well, sure enough, I guess the the algo machines woke up late, and around 1:15 the buying machine turned on, and we went almost all the way to where we opened on the Dow. On the Nasdaq and S&P, we didn't quite get there, but at 3 o'clock on the dot, we sold right off. I told folks that I was talking to in the evening today, like when the bounce was happening, I was like, oh, great. Here's the bounce, finally. Because we're so oversold, we're due for a bounce. And I actually fell asleep. I was like, all right, I'm watching the markets, I'm watching financial news, watching what's going on in Maine with the shooter, which is horrible. And I kind of dozed off at 2-ish. And right when it was rallying, I was like, all right, whatever. Like, okay, today will be a rally. Maybe we'll get some green. We'll go into the positive, into the close. I opened my eyes at like 3:15, and we're like on our way back down. And we closed the day at the low. That is really bad. When I take a look at the sectors, only 3 sectors were green. Nothing that you would write home about, right? So the leading group was real estate, and it's just basically bouncing because yields softened. Utilities were the second best performer, then basic materials. Every other sector was red. When I take a look at which sectors led to the downside, number 1, again, communication services. Number 2, technology. Not good. Consumer cyclical was number 3 for the leading loser. Healthcare, then energy. We still have Friday session, but when I take a look at the 1 week performance, it's horrendous. Communication services so far through Thursday is down 7.6% alone. Energy down 4.3%. Tech down 4.15%. But we got to bounce somewhere. And after the close, Amazon reported decent numbers. It popped and then began to sell off, just like Meta did. But after the earnings call was completed, it fought back and popped again. So maybe there's some hope. I look at Google after hours, they're also popping higher on sentiment with Amazon. They have nothing to do with each other than maybe there's bullish sentiment for AI, and they're both going to do well with AI and cloud. So maybe Friday, buyers step in and we go a little higher to backtest some key resistance above. But I do want to point out that there is a lot of supply above us. So if you take a look at any chart, I'm just going to pull up the SPY, the SPY. So if you take a look at the SPY from the summer, so in the beginning of the summer, at the peak of the summertime, was like 457 on the SPY. We closed today at 413. So that's a very big drop. The SPY is well below the 200-day moving average. So we closed again at 413. The 200 days at 420. So maybe we fight our way back to 420. Maybe we might even pierce it to the upside, right? Because there is another long-term trend line right above the 200-day. And we camp out. But I believe that's about it. And then we'll see another sell-off. Unless, I'm going to repeat, unless if this is the end of this sell-off and we're going to go into Santa Claus rally mode, we need to see, not all, but a few, maybe Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Meta rally right now from here, and Amazon 20, 30, 40% to the new year. That's one ingredient. We're also going to need to see, when I do all these breadth reports every day, we're going to have to see 1,000 new highs and 20 new lows versus what we were seeing now, which is the opposite. And then thirdly, while yields are coming down today, it's still very high. It's still 4.85%. We need to see this markedly lower, below 4.5%, to give some relief. If those 2 out of 3 things don't happen, any bounce, I think, is going to be sold off at key resistance levels. That's just my opinion. That's what my eyes were telling me. I'm looking at my notepad. What stuck out? Rally attempted but failed into the close. Closing at the lows. Never a good thing. And this was despite yields falling today. What was strong? Real estate, but keep in mind this is directly correlated to the yields falling today. And this week, numbers saying that the new home sales are great. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt with what I know on how the mechanics of booking revenue for these new home builders work. What to watch going into Friday. Let's see how Amazon opens on Friday morning, pre-market. Keep watching the rest of the Magnificent Seven. Watch yields, watch economic data, watch geopolitical news and risk and headwinds there. When I take a look at news reports coming out tomorrow, it's really important. The PCE numbers that are inflation relevant are coming out at 8:30 in the morning New York time. When I take a look at some of the earnings reports that are due, we do have a few coming out that are notable on Friday. So we have in the morning energy shares, Exxon, Chevron, and then in healthcare pharmaceutical, you have AbbVie, which I've noted in the past. They own Botox, they own Humira, pretty big cash generation company. And then after the close, you have Seagate and a few others, but those are the big ones. Energy in the morning and AbbVie in the morning. That's all I have really to report. My gut says we need to bounce from somewhere, and this might be a good spot. It were really oversold, but keep in mind, I believe any bounce is going to be hit really hard and sold off into. But I will talk to you guys after the Friday session. I'll record it over the weekend. I might release it early, maybe like on Sunday, because there's just so much things going on. Have a great Friday, and I'll talk to you soon.